This is a look at our digital card catalog that we have created for after-school tutoring at Zion. Our program is based upon a very simple concept, and that is we have got to find ways to get in the hands of students both books and materials that they can and want to read. Now here's how the digital card catalog of our library will help in that aspect. What you see on this page is pretty much something you would see in almost every card catalog. Title, author, publisher, ISBN, etc. But right here, this is a key difference. We have found the evaluation for each book that we have in our library, the Lexile level, and that's a score that has been computed to say students or anyone that wants to read this book should have at least a 560L score to be able to successfully read the book. Now, it's possible that some students with a few points below that, maybe 25, 50 points below it, might be able to still read the book. But certainly 560 is a good level, a target level for the students to be able to read it. And if you're above that at 600 or 700, it would be a very simple or easy book to read. Here's the interest level, age level, for the interest of students reading the book. Subjects, and we've categorized it as historical fiction. In this category, in this field, we have placed all of the awards that any books have won. If they've won an award, whether it's a Newbery or a Caldecott or any other award, we've placed it in this notes category. And that certainly does encourage students to read the book when they see this award has been given to the book. Then the summary. So the tutors in our program will have this digital card catalog on their iPads. So they would be sitting with students, taking a look at the summary, looking at the awards, looking at the book cover, and seeing whether or not they choose to read the book and get it out of the library to check it out. So that's where the choice element comes in. The can element comes in matching up Lexile level with students' Lexile level, and we test the students that come into our program to find out what their Lexile level currently is. Supposing that we have a student coming in who's reading at a 150 Lexile level. That's an earlier reader. And we're trying to find out what the student may be interested in. All right, let's do a search. I'm going to do a very fast search here. Let's find a Lexile level greater than 50. That's 100 points below the Lexile level of the student. And let's do a search that includes less than 200. That's 50 points above where the student's Lexile level is. That, we are told, is the reading range of a student with a Lexile level of 150. Certainly anywhere from 50 on up to 150, that's going to be a pretty easy book for that student to read. So the probability of success in reading it would be pretty great. Let's see what we have in our library by doing a find. All right, we found 90 books out of the 2,500 plus books. Let's sort. And we'll sort by Lexile level. Then we will take a look at the lowest ones that we have in our library. And the first one is Fast Draw Freddy, and the Lexile level is 60. Well, a student with a Lexile level of 150, if they chose to read this book, the probability of them being successful reading it would be pretty high. So as you go through, sitting down with a student, the tutor has the iPad, and they're looking through what they have found. You're really doing a survey with the student, finding out what is of interest to them. And so here comes the element of choice. The element of choice is very important in getting students to be independent readers. Most of the tutoring programs that are out there, they hand students material to read. The student has had no choice in what they are reading. And so the readers struggle and get turned off by much of the material that's being handed to them. We are giving the students choice, and that's a very high motivator. Are you my mother? That's a famous one. But you see the age levels. Students can choose to do something below their age if they want, just because they're interested in the book that they see, or they can choose something a little bit older than what they are, because the Lexile level is key in terms of whether or not they're going to be able to read it. Okay, that's part of what the digital card catalog can do. It can be used as a survey to find out what interests the students that the tutor is working with. Let's do something more with this digital card catalog. Let's say that we have a student who is reading at the 350 Lexile level. So if we're going to find books for that student, let's go 100 below that. That would be greater than 250. Whoops. Did that again. And less than 400. But let's say that we've already identified with that student that student likes to read mysteries. Now look at the categories that are here in our search. We found mystery. There it is. All right. So in this category, we have found 29 books that are available. Let's again sort them by Lexile level and start out with the ones that are at the very lowest level, because that would be the highest probability of success for if the student chose the book. So now we have narrowed the search, because the student not only has given us, through testing, the Lexile level of what he can read, but he's also given us a topic that he's interested in. And so you begin to look through all of these with the student and letting the student pick out what he chooses to read. Boring beach bag. You know, some of these as an adult, I look at them and say, I want to read that. So we're hoping that the combination of seeing the cover, the book cover, the short summary that is there, and the fact that they're interested in a particular topic, and having some knowledge that they're going to be successful in reading it, that will be a strong motivation for the student. Okay, supposing we have an older student, and the older student, let's say, is reading at a 650 Lexile level, and the student is not certain what they want to read, what they're interested in. All right, 650, so let's do a search for greater than 550 and less than 700. Look at that. 486 books out of the 2,516. Now remember, this is an ongoing process. We keep adding books to our library. We've got 300 more at least in the process of being added, and we're getting donations from many of our local public libraries, from Cherry Valley, Stillman Valley, Loves Park, and now the Rockford Public Library. Okay, let's get the list view and let's sort. A lot of books. Well, here's a book that needs the book cover. Some of these we still got work to do. So in other words, the book cover is missing. That means we have to scan in the book cover. We couldn't get it on the internet. We have to scan it in, and we do that and wind up with the book cover for each book. Sometimes what we put in is a little bit clearer than others. That's one of the factors of finding the covers on the internet. It's also a factor of scanning sometimes. Okay, if we know what a student wants, then we narrow it down considerably. Here we found 486. Let's take that same student and let's say, again, we're looking for books greater than 550 and less than 700. And let's say that we know that he likes really nonfiction and he likes books about animals. Let's see what we find. In this case, we only found 16. All right. Did I sort that? Let's see. Sort it by Lexile levels, and we start here. Now, depending upon the age of the student, they may be put off by this, they may not. The topic may overpower their interest and say, no, I may be older than 3 to 7, but I want to read that book. That's okay. You know, research indicates that even students reading comic books, which we have in our library, they can grow in their ability to read through reading comic books. So I'm not worried about what they are reading. I'm trying to get them to read and follow their interests and enjoy the reading so that they become lifelong readers. Now, when they're coming from situations of poverty where there's very little communication in the home, very little book reading in the home, they're not being read to, they're not reading books, they don't have reading material, probably not even newspapers and comics there. What you're doing is you're working an uphill battle. And so in our program, this may be the first taste that they've had where they get to choose a book that they're interested in to read and that they can read. Just sending a youngster to the library and saying, find a book. Lots of luck. Very difficult for youngsters to find not only the topic, but then to find a book that they can actually read. So this digital card catalog really helps in that respect. Well, I hope that you have, from this brief video, received a taste of what our digital card catalog can do. And remember, the digital card catalog is in the hands of every tutor. They have it on their iPads. They're working with students, groups of 4, and at times only having one of the students that they're working with while the others are working on something else, either in the computer lab or in the library. But they do wind up working one-on-one. They do wind up in small groups of no more than 4. Thank you very much for watching. And if you want to see another video, we have another video on YouTube with the 5 concepts of after-school tutoring at Zion. I've put the link down under the information about this video. please take a look at it and give us some feedback on what you've seen. Thank you again.